Hello everyone, welcome back for some more Let's Read Tsukihime, A Piece of Blue Glass Moon. Every time I say it, I pick up the box of the game for two reasons. One is to double check I'm saying the right title, because I gotta make sure I'm saying the right title of the game, but also to remind myself that yes, this is a real game that I physically own, that it came out and I can buy just at a GameStop. What a wild thing to think about. So we went to the garden. We went to see the Psyche's here, Mr. Goto. He said some weird stuff about Hisui, which is concerning. But other than that, we pretty much had an afternoon that wasn't all that eventful in the end. After absentmindedly wasting some time in my room, it didn't take long for dinner time to come around. What we got on the menu? Alright, and we can't get the white woman out of our head. I forced myself to stop thinking of the blonde woman. You really had to hold yourself back from saying that other thing, right? I forced myself to stop thinking of the blonde woman inhabiting the back of my mind. They say the sun sets quickly in autumn, but even so, it felt abnormally fast today. Oh, I thought he was going to say make a metaphor for like, they say the sun sets quickly in autumn, but the sun isn't leaving my autumn mind or something. But no, he's just being upfront about it. I must have lost all sense of time while thinking about this stupid stuff. Akiha is seated in the dining room with Kohaku at attention behind her, while Hisui has taken her position behind me. That's... oh, I don't know if I could eat with someone sitting behind my shoulder. Kohaku has prepared a full-course meal with Wagyu beef as the entree. Oh man, when I went to Japan, I got some. It wasn't Wagyu, but it was, well, is Kobe beef Wagyu beef? Either way, I got some. I was in Kobe, which is, as you know, the place that was the inspiration for most of the Natsu versus locations that are in Japan. And I got this one like complete Kobe beef like full-course meal. And had like Kobe beef shavings in a salad. I had a Kobe beef soup. It was so good. I don't know if it's because of the Tono family manners, but Akiha is passing the dinner in silence with a dignified look on her face. Akiha returned to the mansion about an hour ago. Apparently, some unexpected problems arose and she had to dedicate most of her day to dealing with them.
Hisui, 念のため聞いておくけど、うちの夕食って死後現金だったっけ?
I mean, if you're saying this now, you have automatically broken the rules. I keep my voice to a soft whisper so that Akiha doesn't hear. Oh no, he's keeping it on the DL.
いいえ、親族の皆様間での談話は自由に行われておりました。
Uh-huh.
じゃあ、アキハが黙っているのは単に機嫌が悪いだけ。
But Akiha's always quiet. Oh no.
申し訳ありません。私には分かりかねます。あくまで憶測ですが、アキハ様はお疲れなのではないでしょうか。
Bit of a weird line break there, but...
そっか。そりゃそうだよな。いつも不機嫌だけど、今は特にご機嫌斜めだし。ほんと、ご苦労様だこと。
I mean, you could try talking to her about it, buddy. I nod in sympathy. I should probably give her some space to relax since her Sunday was ruined by extenuating circumstances, and I know better than to try to throw out a random topic. Yep, it's best to let sleeping Akiha's lie.
聞こえていましたよ、兄さん。
Oh boy.
別に午後の視察で疲れているわけではありません。食事は静粛にが当家のマナーですから。
What do you mean decorum? What? Even the fanciest sort of, eating establishments allow you to talk. She glares at me sharply. I'm not surprised that she saw me talk to Hisui, but the fact that she actually overheard what we talked about is terrifying. Just how good is her hearing?
もっとも、それも過去の話ですが、どうしても話がある。今日一日の出来事を語り合いたいというのであれば、その限りではありません。
Nodding in acknowledgement, I resume eating. Since I had a small breakfast and lunch, and I had worked up a reasonable appetite for dinner. But tonight's meal is difficult to look at. Oh, is it because it's meat? And she probably prepared it rare? From the beef tenderloin and the foie gras into the deep crimson sauce, all of the dishes remind me of what happened up to last night. Hey, I'll say this. I tried foie gras. It's so tough to say properly. Foie gras. I had it in Japan because they had it at the breakfast buffet there. And I tried it and I'm like, it's not good enough to reconcile how it's made. And if you know how it's, I think I talked about this exact freaking topic when I played it in the last game. I'm pretty sure I think when I played it in the original Tsukihime, this exact topic came up and I said the exact same thing. Regardless, that's going to happen. I am simply a machine that takes in stuff and spits it out. So, like I was saying, it was okay, but when you know about how it's made, and if you don't, I would give it a look up, because it's one of those things that you hear people say, foie gras, and you're like, oh, that sounds fancy, and you hear that it's made of duck, and you're like, oh, that sounds lovely, right? If you're someone who likes duck, right? But then you look up how it's made, and you go, ooh, I don't know if I like that. Like, I'm always gonna eat meat, but I don't know if I'll eat meat made that way, you know? A sudden murder, an impossible reunion, an equally impossible monster, and just as death had closed its grip around me, I also touched death myself. Not to mention, there was the long-anticipated farewell once we defeated the vampire. I'm pathetic. I've had the whole day to wallow. Still not over it.
それで、私の仕事ぶりをいたわってくれた兄さんは、午後の休みをどのように過ごされたのです？
俺のことか。午後は散歩に出て、部屋に戻ってからはずっとベッドで横になってた。
No matter which route we pick, that is technically correct.
それは、また貧血ですか？
いや、考え事をしていたらいつの間にか夜になってたというか。体の調子は悪くないし、足の方も問題ないよ。
Nissan, am I stuff to you?
つまり、無意に時間を浪費したということですね。
I mean, healing is not idleness.
そんなくだらないことを堂々と口にしないでください。私は何とも思いませんが、他の人が聞けば笑い物になるだけですから。
Akiha seems like the type of person who, if she were to watch an anime, she would watch it at 6 times speed and only slow it down when there's something that she's, cares about. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. I have no way of rebutting her merciless words, but I'm curious about something she said.
確かに自堕落に思われる発言だった。というか自堕落だった。反省している。けど、秋葉は何とも思わないってどうして？
Could it be that despite her strict demeanor, she's pretty lenient with her close relatives?
どうしても何も。私は党の指揮に何も期待はしていませんから。
Oh. Thanks?
兄さんがそういう人であることは、初めから承知の上です。
Great. None of these words are nice. I see. There's certainly wisdom in that. You can't be disappointed if you're not hoping for anything. I'm truly at a loss for words.
いやー、ごちそうさまでした。
ごちそうさま。食後は習い事がありますので、私はこれで。兄さん、反省なされたのでしたら、今夜は早めに部屋に戻って、勉学に励んでくださいね。
I like how she says that, but like, we don't even really know anything about what he's studying. Like, what classes does he have this semester? We don't even know. Akiha rises from her seat and leaves the dining room. Sounds like she's got violin practice tonight. How am I supposed to keep up with someone this multi-talented?
四季さん、ファイトです。
Fighto
様
des.
に負けないで。
Oh, come on. They could have put it as like, cheeky fight, but okay, I get it. Our resident mischievous housekeeper gives me some quick words of encouragement and a playful wave as she leaves the room with Akiha. Meanwhile, Hisui is here, being Hisui, but we love her for that too. After dinner, I take an early bath before returning to my room. I sit at the desk. Thinking back on what Akiha said, I decide to open a textbook and make up for the time I wasted today. No matter how crazy my life became over the past couple days, I'm still a second year in high school. I've got a mountain of work to do, especially because, once you're a second year, that's pretty much the year when they look at the grades and, determine what university you're going to go to, right? It's third year is just pretty much you do it because you have to do it. But the second year results, that's when they pretty much pick you out.
いや、山積みなんだけど。
No matter how hard I try, I just can't concentrate. I keep seeing them in the back of my head. That's such a beautiful image. Unneeded visions of a woman who I should have forgotten by now.
ああ、もう今日はやめやめ。
Giving up, I fall back onto the bed sheets and stare idly at the ceiling. It's okay. Tonight's the last time I'll have to deal with this. It was an intense couple of days, for better or for worse. Not as if I could forget about it all that easily. I'll need at least a day to cool down. Which is what I'm doing right now. Just letting my mind wander. I pass the time in days, hoping to distance myself from those memories and wash away the impressions they left on me. As long as I can manage this, the things that happened will fade into the past. My eyelids grow heavy. My consciousness drifts away. And slowly but surely, darkness wraps up my senses in its embrace. Does it, though? Thus does my peaceful day off come to an end. I lie in bed and slide into a vague slumber, as if to convince myself it will all fade away. Huh? Eh? Are we gonna... Wait, what? Wait, but I thought... Oh, wait, maybe does it come after? Huh. I'm pretty sure this was when we had the dream, but we'll see. We'll see. Because that dream is pretty important when you know, ooh, we got some lines on there now. Those weren't there before, were they? We'll see. There's a chance that it happens tonight instead. Because, they're kind of expanding the game, right? I slowly drift awake. My arm feels heavy as I reach out for my glasses. Looks like I've got a fever. The thought crossed my mind as there were someone else's problem. I put on my glasses. Ooh. My vision returns to normalcy, though a tinge of dizziness remains. The symptoms resemble a common cold, but it's just the flush of a light morning fever. It'll pass with time, like giving a cold engine some time to warm up. Someone knocks on the door. After waiting for a moment,
失礼します。
Hisui enters the room with a bow.
おはよう、翡翠。今朝もありがとう。
おはようございます、四季様。お目覚めになられていたのですね。
ああ、昨日はぐっすり眠ったから。着替えたらすぐに食堂に行くよ。琥珀さんにはちょっと熱があるから、量は少なめだって伝えてほしい。
かしこまりました。
What if she slips NyQuil in, the
体
morning
温計は
coffee?
必要でしょうか。
Uh-oh. No, Hisui. I know you want to, but we're not using the rectal one.
いらないよ。どうせいつもの微熱だし。
You know, you don't even have to put it in your butt. You can just stick it in your armpit and it works the same way. Yeah, it's true.
それでは着替えはここに。食堂でお待ちしております。
Hisui bows and leaves the room. It may be my imagination, but her bow doesn't feel as crisp as usual.
心配してくれてるのかな。でもこんなの本当にいつものことなんだけど。
I appreciate the feeling, but it's really no big deal. I mean, if we want to talk about people who've had it rough, she should see Arcueid. That wound of hers was no joke.
かしガムテープはほんとないよな。見てるこっちの血の気が引いたし、今度会ったら。
I stopped before finishing the thought. There is no next time. We won't be seeing each other again. It's better to avoid getting involved with someone like that.
そうだ、それがいいに決まってる。
Yeah, I bet she doesn't even season her chicken. She probably doesn't, considering how we saw her cooking before. High time I get this through my head. Today is Monday, Garfield's least favorite day, but it's the beginning of the week, and I'm eager to get started. What if Garfield has the mystic eyes of death perception? I think we've seen art of him with the Sharingan, but I feel like that would go harder, you know? Anyways, I wash my face and get dressed before heading over to the parlor. Akiha's sitting on the sofa. It's just after 7, but she's already enjoying her post-breakfast cup of tea.
あら、おはよう、兄さん。今朝は早いんですね。
My waking up early has Akiha in a good mood, it seems.
おはよう。秋葉の方こそいつも早う。
We got some brownie points. Oh! All of a sudden, I'm struck with a bout of vertigo and grab my head. The dizziness persists. My body heats up like I've never felt it before.
兄さん。
Oh! I hear the sound of rustling clothes, then footsteps towards me.
どうかしました？顔が赤いけど、熱でもあるんですか？
That's a very new face to see from her.
いや、熱は確かにあるんだけど。
Akiha comes closer and peers up at me from below. Strange. For some reason, it feels like it's worse when I'm looking at her.
少し熱があるようですね。昨夜はきちんと毛布を使いましたか？環境が変わったから調子を崩しただけでしょうけど、念には念よね。
She
そこ
sounds
で待って
real
いてください、
concerned.
兄さん。今琥珀を呼びつけますから、朝食の前に熱を測りましょう。
Kia looks over to the lobby. She's probably thinking about going over to the kitchen and getting kohaku. I've heard my gaze from Kia in that moment. Huh. As I do, my dizziness passes.
いいんだ、秋葉。琥珀さんを呼ぶまでもないよ。起きたばかりで体調が悪いだけだから、いちいち気にしないで。
体調が悪いのならなおさら放っておけません。風邪だったらどうするんですか？些細な病気でも兄さんには大事でしょ。免疫や抵抗力が人より低いんですから。
I'll be honest, her whole vibe changes when she's in this outfit. Visibly irritated, she brings her hand to my forehead. Her delicate palm is cold to the touch, and I have to send a shiver run down my nape. For the briefest moment, I cease breathing. Kia's right. Something is wrong with me today. I don't know why, but every movement of hers makes me tense. Just watching her cause my temperature to spike. The realization hits me that I might faint if she keeps touching me.
兄さん、随分と熱くないですか？
Akia's words ring through my skull. It feels as if her long black hair and porcelain skin have evaporated into heat and trickled into my head. This is bad, but the feeling will fade. Fatigue must be causing it. My body hasn't had enough time to recuperate. Before I end up doing something incredibly stupid in front of Akiha, I make my move.
よし、休養を思い出した。
I brush away her hand and scurry off like a panicked rabbit.
四季様、朝食まであと5分ほどかかりますが。
そうか、ありがとう。俺のカバンは？
カバンでしたらこちらに。
Hisui is as prepared as always. I thank her and take it in
行っ
hand.
てくれ。見送りはいいから。
Oh, he is busting out of
お
there.
待ちなさい。熱があるのに何をしているんですか、兄さんは。第一、廊下は走らない。妹の言うことはきちんと聞くが我が家のルールです。 おとなしく居間で熱を測ってください。
Akiha has come to the lobby to stop me. Well, luckily for me, her reluctance to run indoors is slowing her
悪
down.
い。ルールを守るのはまた後で。熱も下がったし、このまま学校に行ってくる。朝飯は勝手になんとかするから、今朝は多めに見てくれ。
Buddy, you've said let me off just this once. Multiple times.
なんとかするって。ちょっと、兄さん待ちなさい。何ですかその言い分は。後で守るルールなんて、それじゃ規則とは呼べません。
In an effort to escape Akiha's objections, I burst out of the entrance. I clap my hands together and whisper a heartfelt apology to Akiha in my head. Honestly, I'm grateful that she's concerned for my well-being, but I can't just be like... By the way, whenever I look at you, I get so dizzy I feel like I'm going to pass out. Not when she's so worried about my health. And who knows what kind of pain might be in store for me if I came clean. Or like, the Freudian implications. That's a big part of it. Breathing out a huge sigh, I finally settle down. I should be safe here. My assumption is that Akiha wouldn't be immature enough to drop her schedule to come after me.
けど、怒る理由がルールについてなのが、秋葉らしいな。
I laughed to myself, thinking back to what she said. She may be my sister, but I still can't tell where her boiling point is.
コンビニにでも寄っていくか。
Yo. Real Konbini hours. My wallet's not doing too hot, but I'd at least eat something. Oh, buddy, you don't need much in your wallet to go get a good Konbini breakfast. Why am I only ever hungry on days like this? Usually I'd be fine skipping breakfast, but today I'm starving. I'll just grab something small to hold me over till lunch. Get a little seaweed salad. To start the day. Maybe get a Fami Chickie. I love a good Fami Chickie. Again, you get a Fami Chickie and you get like one of the little buns. You just put it all together and there you go. A little instant, Family Mart, breakfast there. If you count a chicken sandwich as breakfast. I do. It only takes a couple minutes to get in and out of the store. I arrive at school 30 minutes earlier than usual. There aren't many students around. By my count, there's 2 or 3, including myself. That's not many. Though in as little as 10 minutes, the front gate should be packed with students. Naturally, the guardrail is devoid of an unbelievably beautiful white woman sitting in wait for someone. I just gotta keep adding that in to remind you. The athletic clubs are in the middle of their morning practice. I watch them out of the corner of my eye as I approach the entrance. Working up a sweat is actually pretty enjoyable. There's something about it that makes me feel alive. Oh, is it because your anemia means you are close to dying? But I never wound up joining a club. I didn't want to burden anyone with my anemia. Plus, my doctor had strongly advised me to avoid strenuous exercise. But fighting doesn't count, I guess. When I was a first year, I was invited to join a few times, but I always told them, maybe next time. And each time I did, I felt the distance between us grow. In the end, maybe the feeling of not wanting to get involved with others became a self-defense mechanism. This isn't the time for silly sentimentality. I shout out some support to the clubs knee-deep in training before making my way to the main building.
あらら、おはようしきくん。今朝は早くない？
Well, we're kind of making up for lost time.
はい。ちょっと時間を間違えて。おはようございます、ノエル先生。
I run into Miss Noel on the way to the classroom. She seems just as surprised as me to see someone around at this time.
時間を間違えると遅刻するんじゃなくて、早くから登校しちゃうんだ。しきくんはあれね、近辺かね。今時の若い子なら、もっと気楽に生きていいんじゃない？
So we've just completely ignored the whole that one incident. We just are not going to talk. Okay.
十分気楽にやってますよ。勉強好きでもありませんし。それより金曜日の無断欠席についてですけど。
ああ、あれね。大丈夫。お家には連絡入れてないから。たった1日のボイコットなんて普通だものね。しきくんだってその方が都合が良かったでしょ？
So I'll be honest. As a teacher, there are times where I do believe it's for the best to miss school. If, one, you're not feeling well, I mean, that's the obvious thing. But like, if stuff's going on in your life, if like there's some like traumatic stuff going on, oh my god, don't be at school, come on. it's going to distract you and eat you up on the inside, right? School, you can always make up for it, right? That said, if you're there, if you're doing that like once, twice a week, now we need to talk, right? But I do believe that the idea of like you need to have perfect attendance, not at all, right? Miss Noel flashes a devious smile as she utters something I'd never expect to hear from a teacher. Well, I know, but some of us don't play by the old rules. Then again, some of us also should be in prison. Isn't that right, Miss Noel? My savior. This must be what saved me from the full weight of Akiha's fury. Oh, so then that means that Akiha still thought that he was at school. Oh, okay. Actually, isn't Miss Noel being a bit too lenient for a teacher?
あ、四季くんたら頭固いんだ。先生は不真面目なわけじゃありません。生徒の自主性を尊重してのことです。だってみんなこんなにも若くて美味しそうなんですもの。一日ぐらい背伸びして遊びに行くのは仕方のないことだと思うの。
You can't say that. It's like super bad. Like it's coupled with what you did earlier. It's super bad. Don't do that.
いえ、遊びに行っていたとかそういうんじゃなくて。
なんて冗談よ。分かってます。例の貧血でしょ。真面目な四季くんが火遊びをするわけだよね。
Well, okay, that's kind of funny actually. I kind of was.
それで
Oh, that's
体
a
の方は大丈夫？
face.
痛いところとか残ってない？
She's hitting us with her own G. It sounds like she was genuinely worried about me. Miss Noel actually wasn't too far off the mark with her joke, but I won't be correcting her.
貧血の方はなんとか。今朝は特に調子がいいです。
Buddy, that's a lie.
さあ、それはよかった。じゃあ今日から気楽な学生生活に戻れるわね。ところで、慢性的な貧血という話だけど、四季くんはいつからそういう体質なの？
生まれつきではないんです。子供の頃に事故に遭って、それ以来というか。
まあ、それは気の毒に。それで運動をしなくなったり、食欲が薄くなったりしたのね。
It's a little... Okay, I was gonna say it's a little strange that she'd know this, but those should be on a student file? That should be knowledge that a teacher should have.
それで、どんなだったのかしら？
はい？
My voice slips out at the unexpected question. Miss Noel licks... What is she doing? She licks her glossed lips and speaks.
だから、どんな事故だったの？とき。体がおかしくなるぐらいの怪我だったんでしょ？
What's with that choice of words?
やっぱりすごく痛くて、泣きわめくほど怖かったのよね。それこそ、一度死んで生まれ変わってしまうぐらいに。
We really shouldn't let her around any children. An indescribable dread takes hold of me. Not from her insensitivity. It's been obvious from day one that she's a busybody and I don't think she's great at reading the room. What makes me hesitate is that I don't remember a thing about the accident.
ただの事故ですよ。こうして無事だし、大したことじゃありません。そろそろ時間だし、失礼します。
Ooh, she was kind of not happy. I bow before moving past Miss
四季
Noel.
くん、
Uh-oh. I turn around in response to hearing my name.
体調がいいのなら、今日からしっかりね。これ以上、無断欠席はしない方が身のためよ。
Oh, that's what a heart sounds like? Okay. The returnee from France winks before leaving for the faculty. It'd be so funny if we just continue on with this and she gets more and more touchy-feely and Shiki's like, man, those French are crazy. I thought I'd be the first one here, but a few of my classmates are already in the room.
早いな、遠野。金曜どうしたん？
Don't worry about it.
おはよう。金曜は体調不良。そっちは朝練終わり？
そうそう。放課後の部活動だけじゃなく、朝練まで自重しろって話になってきてさ。首相を交代したばっかだってのに、こんなんじゃ統率取れねえよ。
Why do they have to be cancelled? Even the sports clubs are feeling the effects of all this vampire business. Though that'll change soon. That stuff is over now. Things should go back to normal. 5 minutes till homeroom. Just as I'm bracing myself for a full day of classes.
Yahoo! Saborima! Ohayou gozaimasu!
You should not use that word with me. A voice from behind sends my peaceful morning shattering into 1,000 pieces.
Yes, 不良君。金曜日はナイス無断欠席でしたね。
It's one day off.
おかげで今朝また
It's a Friday.
一段と元気ありそう。なんだよ、金土日と寝込んでたんじゃねえの？
寝込んでないし貧弱でもない。金曜日はたまたま気分が悪くなっただけで家に帰ったら回復したよ。面倒なんでそのまま学校は休んだけど。
マジか。あの豪華なお屋敷でのんびりアンニュイライフとかたった3日でお貴族様の仲間入りかよ。
I'm gonna be real, dude.
相変わらず気も太いっつうか順応性高いっつうか、ほんと住めば都なのな遠野は。めちゃくちゃ羨ましくねえ。
You wouldn't last 2 days with Akiha's rules. Also, that's a face. Arcueid puts up a brave front. I could probably learn a thing or two from
言
him.
っとくけど慣れてないぞ。
Yeah.
お前な、あの家がどれだけでかいか見てないから。有彦、遠野の屋敷知ってるのか？
I feel like everyone in town would know about it. It's pretty much a landmark.
にゃ、知らん。
Oh, never
あんだ
mind.
け高いところにあって、かつ周りは塀と林だろ。敷地の中に入らねえと見えねえだろ。いや、デバガメ根性で見たいけどよ。でもほら、オタク、セキュリティとかおすごいんでしょ？
You could probably just like Google it. I'm sure Google Maps has it, my man. It's not that hard. Even Area 51 is like, you could see a lot of it.
俺が知るか。ああ、いや、恵子さんの話じゃ年に数回泥棒騒ぎがあるらしいけど、遠野邸に警察が駆けつけたことなんかないって言ってたし。お前だって丘の上の屋敷に泥棒が入ったなんて話聞いたことないだろ。
That's interesting.
お前、それ年に数回族が押し入るのに警察が来ないって、それやばくね？
I could think of a couple
っぽくね？
people who would deal with that.
どこが？
If they're catching the burglars before the cops can even get to them, wouldn't that mean the place's security is top notch?
いやだからよ、そもそも外に出てきてねえんじゃねえの？その泥棒さん。
なるほど。それならどんな噂も広まらないか。
We nod our heads in agreement. Afraid of where this train of thought might lead us, we quickly decide to change the subject.
そうそう、土曜の事故現場、もう見たか？北口駅前の大火事。地下からの出火だったって話。
Sure, we're just gonna call it a fire, huh?
いや、まだ見てない。話だけは聞いているけど。
俺、北口に改装前のデパートあっただろ。あの前にあった公園がごっそり地下に陥没してる。あれひでえぜ。元に戻すの1年はかかるんじゃねえかな。
Wow, a year for it to fix in Japan? That would take like 15 years in North America.
でもまあ、悪いことばかりじゃない。警備員やらテレビ局やらが押し寄せてるんで、北口のバカども、何を潜めやがったからな。
The guys you were fighting.
そうなのか。じゃあ、倉見橋駅のホテルの話は？
倉見橋のホテルって、あのドームホテル？ああ。そういえばあっちでも火災があったんだっけ？
I can't blame Arihiko for feeling so indifferent about it. An incident of that scale, which claims so many lives, is still just a story from another town. We live in a time where we're flooded with news. Even when we hear something terrible, it's quickly overwritten by the next tragedy.
何にせよ、物騒なのは変わらねえってことか。
Oh, buddy. Throw that onto the anime IRL subreddit.
そういうお前さんもどうなんだよ。遠野は中学からこっち貧血持ちのくせに学校だけは休まなかったじゃねえか。ま、登校した瞬間に帰るっていう離れ技は何度かあったけどな。
それと似たようなものだよ。交差点あたりまでは登校したんだけど、そこで気分が悪くなって帰ったんだ。
弓塚といいお前といい最近素行が悪いんじゃないか
Hold up, is that an actual phrase? Is that actually a... Oh. I've never heard that as an actual phrase. I just only know it as the name of the show. Huh. I thought it had something to do with, like, breaking the crystal meth or something.
素行が悪いっていうのは否定しないけど。
Yeah, what's... Uh-oh.
弓塚さん、どうかしたのか?
What are we gonna learn about her?
木曜からずっと欠席今朝も来てねあいつもずっと優等生してたからないい加減テンパってたのかもしれんしかし振り点だから上がれないと
Ariko certainly has a way with words.
おっとじゃ俺はこれで
So, in the original, she died in the hotel. But, like, I feel like they would have identified, maybe? I don't know, we'll have to see.
さらばだ金曜サボった分真面目に勉学に励むがいい
Ariko hurries out of the room. He seems excited about something. I'm guessing he's gonna hide out in the nurse's office. It's his turn to ditch class, it seems. Part of me was almost hoping that Yumizuku would be more part of the plot, but that wouldn't really be much of a remake then, would it, huh? Don't worry, she'll get her time to shine. The moment lunch break begins, Ariko reemerges yawning. It's obvious he's been sleeping this whole time.
よく寝た殿飯食おうぜ飯
I'm positive Arhiko's mind runs on an endless loop. Eat, sleep, sex, repeat. Does he do that third one? Does he? I kind of feel... I mean, I know it's like a metaphor for, like, you know, just being a teenager, but, like, you don't think he actually, like... What do you know, I don't think so.
そりゃ飯は当然のように食べるけど、いいのか俺なんかに構って。ラン...
あ先輩とランチだ
Okay, interesting. They're not using... So here's one thing. I would argue that senpai has become so normalized it should be used in localized scripts, but that's fine. Ariko pulls a sour face at my question. She must have turned him down today. We lunch together. Ariko is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed after his nap.
宗谷駅前で検索と何の進展会もねえな
Phone in hand, he scours the web looking for new information. Being disconnected from the world for even a few hours is life or death matter. Oh my god, buddy, so true. You'd think he was just addicted to his phone like every other teenager, but Arhiko's cut from a different cloth. To him, this isn't just a way of killing time. He's looking for ammunition to help him survive each night he spends prowling downtown.
はあまた定番のコンビニレジ強盗ですか店員刃物で腹部を刺され重傷犯人はアルコール依存症うへ言ったそう酔っ払いに話通じねえもんなやっぱ買い物は通販に限りますな
If you don't go home often, where do you get it shipped to? I guess there's drop-off points. Ariko continues to work his way through his lunch as he messes around on his phone. The modern version of a father reading the paper during dinner. But now isn't the time for societal critiques.
アリヒコ、食事時にその手のニュース読み上げるの楽しいか?
I don't know, Shiki, I'm gonna be real. I don't think I can eat without either watching a YouTube video or, like, reading stuff on my phone anymore. It's just the way it is, man.
楽しくねえですよけど世間に興味を持たない間抜けな友人のために世の中の物騒さを知らしめなきゃならんでしょ聞いてますか遠野くん北口は倒壊するわ酔っ払いは人を刺すわ無差別に人を殺す通り魔はいるわ他人事じゃねえかもなんだぜ
それは確かに。でも通り魔事件はもう起きないんだ。北口の事故はどうしようもないけど、それ以外はいつも通りってことだろ。
そうなの通り魔って捕まったんだ
いや、捕まってはいないだろうけど。
The culprit is already dead. There'll be no more tacky headlines in the newspaper about a modern-day vampire roaming the streets. nor will anyone be killed so
と
senselessly.
もかくもうあんなふざけた事件は起きないし犠牲者も出ないってこと。町は元に戻ったんだよ。
しかし犠牲者は出ると思うぜ、トノ。
You'd understand, Tono. My Arihiko sense. Yeah. Feel it in my little Arihikos.
出ないよ。なんで断言できるんだよ。
だっておい、今朝で9人目の死体が発
And
見さ
there
れ
it
たって
is.
今ニュースで流れてる。
Arihiko shows me the screen of his phone. Wow, they translated that. That's surprising. I can't believe my eyes. The site has a new update on the murders with a picture of the north side of the Soya
マ
station.
ジかよ。ここいつも行ってる映画館の裏じゃねえか。
待て、もう一度よく見せてくれ。
I take Arihiko's phone from his hand. It's not some crackpot theory or a random hypothesis. 9th victim of serial killer confirmed by police at press conference is emblazoned on the phone's screen.
そんな。
Revelation has me stunned into silence. Vlav is dead. I killed him myself. Then why? How can there be more bodies drained of blood turning up?
しかし現代の吸血鬼か。相手が美人のお姉さんなら座れちゃってもいいんだがね。
Buddy, time and place. Well, I know where we are on his schedule. We literally did sleep, eat. Well, it's eat, sleep, sex, repeat. But now he did sleep, eat, and now we're at the sex.
美人の吸血
I mean, yeah, that's what you're into, man. Arihiko's words are like ice against my skin. I wouldn't mind. Buddy, don't dwell on these words. I wouldn't mind getting sucked dry by a beautiful lady. He's obviously kidding, but it doesn't feel like a joke to me.
事件はまだ終わっていない
Like, I know it's a serious moment, but the way they handled it is really funny. The discovery of a new victim means there's still a vampire in our midst. And if we were to use the process of elimination, who that vampire is should be abundantly clear. Vlav is gone, which leaves only one vampire remaining. Well, I wonder if we'll see her again. Classes come to an end and school finishes for the day. Maybe I should say school was over before I knew it. The worst possible assumption has clouded my mind, and by the time I realized it, I was sitting alone in an empty classroom.
通り魔殺人はまだ続いている。
Before, I wouldn't have given a second thought, but she said it herself. She's never killed any humans. I can't see her lying to me about that.
ニュースが間違いなのか、それとも
Only Arcueid would know the answer to that question. If I could just find her, I'm sure the pieces would all fall into place. That's why I don't understand what I'm thinking. This is no longer any of my business. When I finished off Vlav, I went back to my old life. I did my job. My part in this should be over. I have no reason to dive back in. Why would I go back to all of that craziness of my own volition? I should just go home. Keep walking down this path as if nothing ever happened. I'll go home. That has to be the next best alternative. I've been taught since I was little to always choose the best option.
どんな人間だって人生ってのは落とし穴だらけなのよ。君はそれを何とかできる力があるんだから、もっとちゃんとしなさい。
そうだ。何もしないって選択だけはしちゃいけない。
Those words saved my life. I've always tried to live by them, so I can't pretend like this has nothing to do with me. This isn't over. Now that I've gotten myself involved, it's my responsibility to see this through to the end. So Could we just, like, go to her house? Because, like, we know where she lives. I leave the school. Although I don't have any idea where she could be, I still have the key to her apartment. Well, that's a good first place to check, buddy. So we'll start there. The apartment looks the same as when I last left it, but Arcueid is nowhere to be seen. There are signs that she's been here, though. I'm relieved that she hasn't just disappeared into thin air.
いいさ。そう簡単に捕まえられるなんて思ってない。とにかく、今は行動あるのみだ。
Why don't you just leave a little sticky note or piece of paper or something that says, hey, we need to talk. Come find me. You know? Because she doesn't have a cell phone. Could you just, like, write a message or... I could wait for her here, but there's no knowing if she'll be coming back. I'll probably have to look for her in town, just like how I first met her. Okay, bro does not have paper or a pen, I guess. That's just the only answer. Starbucks Cafe. The sun sets over the city, paving the way for the night to reveal itself. I take a look around all the major spots, but I don't manage to catch a hint of Arcueid.
どうでもいい時はひょこひょこ歩いてたくせに、どうしてこういう時に見つからないんだ、あいつ
To
は。
be fair, I could not imagine trying to find a single person in Tokyo. That would be hell. What do? It's still early in the evening. Oh, frick. Interesting. We're gonna want to do both eventually, but let's start with wandering around a bit. I'll continue looking. We only met by chance in the first place, and it's not like we're on good enough terms that we'd know exactly where we'd find each other either. If I don't want to rely on sheer coincidence to find her, I'll have to rely on my own 2 feet and a bit of intuition.
そうだよな。人に会いに行くっていうのはそういうことだ。携帯に頼りすぎだった。
It's so funny. Just like, we're really doing this? Like, oh man, cell phone's bad. In a time when no one had a cell phone in their pocket, if a person didn't turn up to a pre-designated meeting spot, you could figure out where they'd be based on their principles and lifestyle habits. You know what? I don't know. I never really lived in a world without cell phones, right? If someone didn't meet up at their pre-designated meeting spot, you just said screw it and went home. I'm pretty sure. Or you waited around for too long and then you ended up hating them. I'm gonna be real, dude. Cell phones have made our life way easier in so many ways. It wasn't some kind of feral instinct, but something uniquely human that anyone could do, even in this age saturated by mobile phones. Unfortunately, there's a limit to how far I can search. I'd be better off focusing on the residential area or the shopping district.
よし。
After some deliberation, I decide on the shopping district. On my way over, I make sure to keep an eye out as I pass the north and south exits of Soya Station. If she's still here in town, I'll find her. Whatever crowd was between us, I know I'd recognize her in an instant. Nope. Yeah, it's not happening, buddy. Turns out my intuition sucks. Every time I feel like I'm about to find her, every time I think she's gonna be around the next corner of the station, I wind up empty-handed. Been a while since I've felt this useless. Actually, maybe the first time it's ever been this bad. I've always tried to avoid overexerting myself since I never knew when my anemia might flare up. Makes me wonder why I thought this search might be worthwhile, considering I had absolutely no guarantee I'd find her.
でも夜はこれからが本番だし、あともうちょっとだけ探索を。
Oh, my phone buzzes. I wonder who it could be. Arihiko. I look to see.
四季さん
I'm sorry, what? Unstoppable force meets unmovable object. Why is that the subject, Kohaku?
急いでお屋敷に帰ってきてくださいますか？なぜかというと突然のお客様がいらっしゃいまして。
Wait, what?
とても素敵な四季さんのガールフレンドを名乗る外国人の女性と。
Oh no! They literally called her Gaikokujin, which is the polite version of Gaijin.
朝の一件だけでなく
四季様がお帰りにならないことに不機嫌だった秋葉様と
I
かけ
want
ま
to
す。
reload my save then.
その心は
It's a strange text from Kohaku. This also confirms Kohaku's got a cell phone.
は
I gotta say, that subject line is so funny. My mind goes blank. Does that mean Arcueid is at the Tono Mansion? I immediately conjure up the worst case scenario, though my wits refuse to accept it. Stupid! Why didn't I realize it earlier? What made me think I could use common sense to pin down something like Arcueid?
にしても意味不明すぎるだろ
Like a hare in flight, I race off toward the Tono estate. I don't even want to imagine what Arcueid could be spouting off to Akiha, and trying to picture Akiha's reaction has me genuinely scared for my life. Oh my god. Oh my god. Looks like I've managed to set a new personal best. Climbing that killer of a hill and reaching the Tono Mansion in record time has me gasping for air. But my trial is far from over.
ごくり
Is that how you say "guh"? I begin to catch my breath. Wait, I have learned. People have told me I can. People told me that I can. Right there.
ごくりごくりごくり
Very good option. My weary shoulders get a reprieve as well. I swear the mansion looks like it came right off the set of a horror movie. Now that I think about it... Gee, Akiha!
まあちょうどいいところに
This is the biggest Gee Akiha has ever been! Nasu, you are not
覚
escaping.
悟はできていますね
You are not escaping the allegations. Oh my god, dude. Bro, you ain't escaping the allegations. Yeesh. Are people always this willing to make their peace and march to their death? I know it was a fantasy. I know, don't worry, but... I wonder if the moon actually changes phases over the game. Huh. There's no running from this now. It would only make things worse. I cast aside my fears and venture inside the grim abode. Oh boy.
ようやくお帰りになったようですねあと1分遅かったのならどうなっていたかわからなかったところです
I kind of want to reload my save and get here earlier, but let's let this play out.
あ、やっと帰ってきたな、こいつめ。妹さんばかりか私まで待たせるとか、やっぱり普段から横暴なのね。
Absolute nightmare scenario. They stare at me with polar opposite expressions on their faces. I know what this feeling is. This must be how a captive feels when they're forced to plead for their life with a gun pointed at the back of their head, like in an action movie. Words fail me. I'm unable to come up with any kind of response. I can't believe Arcueid and Akiha are face to face in the same room. They're both sitting on the sofa like there's nothing amiss at all. Though unlike Arcueid, who seems perfectly calm, Akiha has bitter contempt written all over her face. Akiha glances at me.
どうしたんですか兄さんそんなところに立っていないでどうぞこちらに来て座ってください
Okay. No way. I inch a little closer to the sofa, but the feeling I might be stabbed by a knife keeps me from coming any nearer.
ここでいいです
You can hear his voice be like this.
それよりアキハこいつはだな
How do I even begin to explain? I doubt I could get away with calling her a classmate, and saying she's someone I met in town would probably just make things worse.
その何ですか
Akiha's glare pierces into me. I can tell I'm not going to be let off the hook here. I don't think there's anything I can say that'll do me out of this hole. Still, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or disturb what little peace I found. There's gotta be a way to explain. What's she even doing here in the first place? How can she sit there smiling away like that? I can't imagine Akiha would let someone she's never met before into the
その
parlor.
前にいいかな。こいつなんて言ってやってきたの。
That's the worst thing you could say, buddy. Oh my god. Arcueid tilts her head in confusion.
兄さんのご友人ではないんですか？この方はそう自称しましたが。
Wait, just friend? That's it?
ああ、うん。友人といえば友人。
Yeah.
そうですか。私にも紹介していただけると嬉しいわ。兄さんのご友人でしたら、無下にお帰りいただくわけにはいきませんし。
それはですね、秋葉さん。
Oh my god, he's literally melting. I mumble.
ふん、友人ね
Oh no. Arcueid works her way into the conversation, probably tired of being ignored.
え。あんなひどいことしておいて、そういうこと言うんだ。私、まだ体が痛いんだけど。
Oh no! My head whirls. Now this is some vertigo. Floored, I find myself decoupling from reality with astonishing speed. Everything is becoming colors and shapes.
それはどういった意味でしょうか？私の兄が身体面、あるいは精神面においてあなたに危害を加えたとでも？失礼ですが、ご自分がどれほど信憑性のない発言をしているか理解していますか？
ええ、バッチリね。でも安心して、そんなのもう気にしていないから。ちゃんと体で返してもらったし。
Oh no! No, don't say that!
なので、どうぞお構いなく。私は四季を誘いに来ただけだもの。すぐに出かけるわ。ね、そうでしょ、四季。
Her face! Shit. This is bad. The more she talks, the shorter my lifespan gets.
いや
I force a laugh as I make for Arcueid, grabbing her arm.
ちょっと四季、急に何するのよ。
There's no time to listen to her complaints. Dragging Arcueid by arm, I bolt out of the parlor, leaving a stunned Akiha behind. Hisui, don't give me that look. Hisui's waiting in the lobby. I wonder what she's thinking, seeing me with Arcueid in tow. I have a hunch I won't like the answer, so I'll worry about that later.
お出かけですか、四季様。
不本意ながらすっごく申し訳ないんだけど、玄関の鍵は開けておいてほしい。
はい、かしこまりました。
I hurry past the bowing Hisui and try to get away from the mansion as fast as possible. Well, things could have gone
痛いな。
better.
いきなり外に連れ出すなんて、四季って常識ないんじゃない？
So the question is, how much of that is a separate scene? Okay, so we are at... Keep searching. Okay, so this is here. Okay, so it's we're at the same one. Okay, I do want to see what happens if we get here on time. Okay, so let's, because we're here. So let's go back here because I do want to see what it looks like. Okay, so load. Nope. Flowchart. God bless the flowchart. So we're here, and let's skip. Let's go back to the mansion right away this time. Because I want to, if I can get 2 variants of that scene, hell yeah, I'm so in for that. It's 7 o'clock. This has always been a quiet street, but once night falls, it's almost completely silent. I'm about to press the call button to get to the gate unlocked when I remember that it's just before dinner. I'm sure Kohaku and Hisui are in the kitchen right now, and I don't want to bother them. I'll use the keycard I have to get through the side gate. It had left my mind completely. I remember what happened this morning as I passed through the gate. Could Akiha still be angry about me leaving in a hurry? These options are wild. Are you serious? No way or Yahweh. I'm gonna say no. She's mature. She's not a
い
kid.
や子供じゃあるま
Yeah,
いし
she can get over
さ
that.
すがにもう落ち着いているんじゃないか
She should be happy. We're so dedicated to our studies. Akiha's only angry because I wouldn't have Kawaku check me out because I ran in the hall. And because I ran in the hall. Neither is something to stay mad about all day. Can't exactly explain to her what's going on, but I can at least tell her that I'm sorry.
そうそう妙に厳格な性格になってるけど話せばわかるのがアキハだし
I'll just say, we really wanted to go to school. I should tell her I'm home first. After that, I just need to come up with a plan to find Arcueid and then sneak away once it's lights out.
ただいま
I enter the lobby, trying to sound as natural as possible. That's strange. I can hear voices from the parlor. It's just before dinner. It's odd that anyone would be in the parlor at this time. Kawaku should be in the kitchen. I can't exactly see Hisui and Akiha chatting with one
ア
another.
キハのやつ琥珀さんとお茶でも飲んでるのかな
Either that, or we have a visitor. Just as I'm about to head over to the parlor and find out for myself, Hisui exits the room. Could she be coming to greet me after hearing me arrive home? Something about her expression seems off, like she's gloomier than usual.
遅くなったけどただいま翡翠
Oh. Hisui stares at me blank. No, that's not blankly. That's not blankly. She doesn't even give me a welcome home.
何かあった気のせいか怒っているように見えるんだけど
四季様にお客様です。先ほどから居間でお待ちですので、どうぞお急ぎください。
Oh, she's already here.
俺に客
She's already here. Hisui
おかしい
nods.
な俺を
Oh,
訪ねに来るやつなんていないはずだけど引っ越したことを知ってるのは有彦ぐらいだし最近知り合いになったやつもいな
wait a second. A terrible feeling washes over me.
翡翠それどんなやつ
金色の髪をした綺麗な女性の方です。
Oh boy.
な
There's only one person I know who fits that description. My reflexes take over. I break into a dash when sprinting towards the parlor as fast as my legs will carry me.
何がどうなってんだ
I swing open the door and enter the room of death. But it's already too late. There's no stopping this now. My end is nigh.
あらお帰りなさい兄さん今夜もまた定例通り遅かったですね。
あ、やっと帰って
Okay,
き
so
た
now
な。
we're back to... Okay, yeah, we're back to normal here. So yeah, I've learned fast forward again only works for old text, and then we're good. Easy peasy. My one question though is let's go back to that. Does that actually change anything if I say that she's a kid? I'm gonna check it out here. Yahweh, she's not an adult.
大人じゃあるまいしあの剣幕がそう簡単に収まってるとは思えないぞ
If anything, all this time has probably only let her anger simmer and boil. Oh, we get to see this again. Running away from my perfectionist sister has likely lit an unquenchable flame inside her that will continue to rage until it's doused. She's definitely not something you want to make an enemy of. But it's been 12 hours since the shenanigans this morning. Ah! Comparing her anger to a balloon about to burst would be a grievous understatement.
ちょっと頭痛い自称吸血鬼だって言い張る女よりうちの妹の方が迫力あるとか
True! I sigh as I mull over the mess I'm in. It's not like things will get any better with me standing here shaking in my boots. I brace myself for whatever calamity is awaiting me and open the door. Okay, so now we're back, yeah. Yeah, let's see if this makes any difference. Doesn't seem like it. Just a little scene difference. Just a little touch of a scene difference. That's it. Okay, sounds good. What a good fast forward feature. Anyways, I've never heard a stupider question in my life. The one that you heard a long time ago that it hurts.
お前こそ何のつもりだよ 真正面からうちの屋敷に来るなんて正気じゃないぞ。もしかして俺の生活をぶっ壊すつもりなのか、このバカ女。
バカ女って、あなた私をバカにしてるの？
バカをバカって言ってんだから、それ以外何があるって言うんだバカ。反
Buddy,
論があるなら聞いてやるから言ってみろ。
I think Shiki needs to pay more attention in modern Japanese class. He needs some synonyms.
あ、うん？
I'm actually livid. I've never been in such an infuriating situation before. I have to give her a piece of my mind, otherwise I won't be able to let this one go.
何よ。私は式に会いに来ただけじゃない。そんなに怒られるようなことしてないと思うけど。
会いに来ただけって、アルクエイド、お前本気で言ってるのか？
そうだけど、何よ。何の問題もないからね。魔眼も使ってないし、極めて人間的なアプローチしたんだし。四季の妹さんにだって四季の目のことも私が吸血鬼であることもちゃん
This
と
is where
黙っ
we
ててあげたん
learn.
だから。
This is where we learn that the outside gate here has a camera with a microphone. Uh-oh.
そこは言わなくてもわかる。そっちの話に関しちゃ常識ありそうだからな。
わかんないな。それじゃあなんでそんなに怒ってるのよ、あな。
そっちがあんまりにも考えなしだからだよ。この際だからはっきり言っておくぞ。周囲の目を考える、自分の特徴を自覚する。頼むからもうちょっとおとなしめに行動すること。お前はいるだけで目立つんだから。
Oh. Oh, hey! Well, look at that. I've seen a figure with those. The super rare Neko Arcueid. I feel better now that I've said what needed to be said. Though Arcueid, who had been on the receiving end of it, seems the complete opposite. She glares at me like a pouting cat. Yep, that's what that is.
何よ、勝手なことばっかり言って。だいたいいるだけで目立つってどうしてよ。私、外見は人間と変わらないでしょ。
How many times do I have to say it, Arcueid? You're white.
美人はいるだけで目立つんだよ。人間であるかどうかなんて関係ない。
Is that the word we're using? Beautiful? Okay. I reply to her frankly. And she's like, oh, shoot, wait, it's not a bad thing? Maybe it's because I gave her a straight answer. It's definitely a straight answer, but Arcueid readily accepts it.
まあ、こっちも言い過ぎた。こういう修羅場は初めてだったから、気が動転してたんだ。
Buddy, you just fought a vampire.
別にいいよ。悪かったのは私の方みたいだし。
Arcueid bows her head in a show of honest remorse. Somehow I'm starting to feel guilty for thinking she might have had some ulterior motive.
で、どうしてうちに来たりしたんだ？いや、俺もお前に話があったから渡りに船だけど。
そうなの？私は単に四季はどうしてるのかなって様子を見に来ただけなんだけど。
そうか、興味本位か。次は木の陰にでも隠れてこっそり見に来てくれ。できるだけ誰にも見つからないように。できれば俺にも見つからないように。
Buddy, you're trying to sound so cool right now, but you were literally thinking about her all day yesterday and today. I feel exhausted all of a sudden. Though this isn't exactly the first time I've been caught up in one of Arcueid's little whims. And the fact that she didn't tell Akiha anything means she at least put some consideration into my position here.
ともかくだ。真剣に話したいことがある。ここじゃ落ち着かないから場所を変えたいんだけど。
いいけど、話って何よ。
すぐにわかる。そうだな。そろそろ人気もなくなるし、公園あたりがいいかもしれない。
I motion toward the road and start walking. Arcueid tilts her head in curiosity, but follows after me without a word. God, I want to go to this park. It looks so cool, the little
話って何
structure
なの、
there.
四季。
Even if it's just like, it's really nothing.
吸血鬼のこと。 お前前に言ったよな。
Arcueid nods.
それじゃあ今朝のニュースで新しい犠牲者が出たっていうのは知ってるか？昨日の夜に通り魔に殺されて血を抜かれたらしいんだけど。
Oh. She narrows her eyes. I can tell I've stepped on thin ice. One wrong step will be the end of me.
ふん。
それでってお前。
I swallow nervously. Arcueid peers right at me. Her eyes tell me that she's ready to pounce at the slightest movement.
おかしいじゃないか、アルクエイド。ブローブは死んだ。なのにどうしてまだ吸血鬼騒ぎが起こる？まさかとは思うけど、あれは。
If this is your doing,
はあ、もうそんなわけないでしょ。それは私じゃなくて他の吸血鬼の仕業よ。
Arcueid interjects, slicing through the tension. A strange happiness wells up in my throat, but I shouldn't get my hopes up yet. It's great that it was another vampire, but there's still a couple things that don't make sense.
他の吸血鬼の仕業って、そう次から次へと吸血鬼が出てくるのか？
まさかあの事件は初めから一人の吸血鬼の仕業よ。この町を食い物にする新しい吸血鬼なんてやってこないし、ブローブだってあの事件には全く関係ないわ。
Vlav and, by extension, Nero Chaos, were always just there. They were mid-bosses. Vlav was never connected?
関係ないって、それどういう意味だよ？
言った通りの意味だけど、もう式って切れるようでどこか抜けてるのね。いい？確かにブローブは吸血鬼だったけど、あいつは人の血を吸っていた？
Yes, we saw him do it. He was doing that to the women. We literally have CG of that.
吸っていたかって
Yeah.
当然だろ。あいつはあんなに人間を片っ端から燃やして。
But we saw him do it to a lady too. So that's it. How did I not notice something so obvious? The bodies left behind by the... Well, I guess they would be done in a different way. They wouldn't have... Okay, fair enough. They wouldn't have been... Because if he sucks their blood, then they will go on fire. So yeah, you're right. The bodies left by the serial killer had been drained of blood, but they were otherwise unscathed. But Vlav was different. He burned his victims. He drank their blood too, but draining them was never his modus operandi. Come to think of it, the victims at the hotel weren't connected to the serial murders. They were treated as casualties of a fire. Which means Vlav must have never had any connection to the serial murders to begin with.
待ってくれ。じゃあ吸血殺人事件は何なんだ？一体どこの誰があんな真似をしてやがる？
だからあの事件はブローブとは別の吸血鬼の仕業なの。私はその吸血鬼を殺すためにこの町にやってきたわ。ブローブが来た理由は、ちょっとあやふやになってきたわね。てっきり私を追いかけてきた一人かと思ったけど、ブローブにはそれだけの理性、使徒社会における協調性はなかったみたいだし。ま、そのあたりはもういっか。ブローブは死んだんだし。とにかくブローブとこの町に救っている吸血鬼は別物よ。ブローブは正真正銘無関係の第三者。
Part of me thinks we're going to get a lot more. Maybe not a lot more, but definitely more with Vlav in CL's story there. Because the split, will happen before we fight him, right? So...
私、標的がブローブだなんて言わなかったでしょ?
And remember, no spoilers. I'm gonna play it.
ブローブにとっての標的は私だったけど、私にとっての標的はこの町で通り魔と言われている吸血鬼だけよ。シキ、まさかとは思うけど、ものすごく単純な勘違いしてたとか?
To be fair, you didn't make it very obvious. I swallow nervously. Arcueid's right, though. She said her goal was to kill the vampire, which I just assumed was Vlav.
それじゃあ何か？ あの夜ブローブと殺し合ったのは。
無意味じゃないわ。シキは私の代わりに戦ってくれたんじゃない。ま、シキさえ私を殺さなかったらその必要もなかったでしょうけど。
The exhaustion hits me such that it feels like my knees will give out at any second. It was all pointless. Killing Vlov changed nothing in the end. There's still a vampire in town. Even if it was just for a split second, I tried to pin the blame on Arcueid. Ah, shit. Disappointment and self-loathing swirl around in my head.
悪い。しつこいけど、最後に確認させてくれ。ブローブは吸血鬼殺人には関係なくて、ここ1ヶ月街を騒がしているのは、
He just really wants to be sure. He just wants to be quadruple sure.
そういうこと。でも、これは私が済ませる問題だから、シキは気にしないでいいよ。そんなことより、ね
え。Arcueid looks up at me, a wild smile brimming across her face.
なんだよ。言っておくけど、ものすごく余裕がないぞ、俺。
My feelings are all over the place right now. Anything she says could knock me right off my feet.
ちょっとした疑問よ。二人でブローブを倒した時のこと。ねえ、なんで3分だったの？
なんでって何が？
シキ、3分しか時間はないって言ってたじゃない。どうして3分なのか全然わからなくて。
He's just doing like anime fighting stuff where he like guesses like trajectories and timings and stuff.
あのな、言っただろ。あそこは海の底みたいなものだって。
海の底だと3分なの？
What? That was a close one. If I was feeling like my usual self, I would have shot back with something snarky.
まあ、そうだよ。人間はお前みたいなのと違って、それぐらいしか水に潜っていられないの。
何よ。私だってちょっとは寒かったわ。海の底だって何時間も潜ってたら退屈だし。
I was chilly, she says. Meanwhile, I genuinely thought I was dead.
下を向いてどうしたの？
いや、ちょっとめまいがして。気にしなくて、いや、気にしてくれ。実際海に潜ったら3分だって怪しいからな。人間はか弱いんだから、頑丈なお前と一緒にするな。吸血鬼は吸血鬼同士、我慢比べでもやっててくれ。
I wave Arcueid off with one hand as I cradle my head with the other.
今更言っても始まらないか。お前たちが化け物じみてるのは身に染みてるし。
Oh, she's getting
ブローブの
mad.
ことは俺がバカだった。それよりアルクエイド。
I calm myself and begin to say something, but when I look up, what's with that expression on her face?
アルクエイド。
何よ、シキの意地悪。
It's true.
どうせ私は人間じゃないですよーだ。
Arcueid turns the other way in a huff and starts walking.
おい、ちょっと待て。どこ行く気だよ。
人間なシキには関係ない。ついてこないでよね。
Arcueid storms off without even a glance in my direction. She seems genuinely upset. Man, where's she going? Must have struck a nerve. Looking back, maybe I was being a little unfair.
いや、でも、そんな悪口言ってないぞ。
Did I? Considering how mad she is, I feel like I must have earned it. Like, really earned it. In fact, I kind of feel like an asshole. Wow, this Shiki is way more introspective.
ああ、もう、悪かった。今のは俺が悪かった。だから待て、止まれってば。
I rush after the white silhouette in front of me. Not just because I feel guilty. In case she's forgotten, we still have important things to discuss. Arcueid walks through the night, full of purpose. Her golden hair flutters in the air. She looks the same as she did when I first laid eyes on her, when I wanted to slash her into 17 pieces. The same as when she first faced Vlov amidst all that collapsed rubble. Gone is the tenderness I felt a second ago. She has the air of a hunter stalking its prey, her movements now sharp and deliberate.
Arcueid.
Arcueid doesn't respond. She continues marching forward.
話を聞けって。どこに行くつもりだよ。
The white huntress doesn't stop. I can't back down. But I also can't manage to do anything else for now, so I fall behind her silently. Tap, tap, tap. We walk in complete silence except for the sound of our footsteps. Until that is, Arcueid comes to an abrupt halt and turns towards me.
ついてこないで。あなたみたいな普通の人間にいられると迷惑だってわからない。
人間で悪かったな。何をしているのか教えてくれたら帰るよ。
式には関係ないからほっといて。
Arcueid twirls around and begins walking again. Well, damn. Looks like I'm getting the silent treatment again. Which admittedly, kind of deserved, bucko. Whoa. This looks like a location that was in the Garden of Sinners movies. We leave the shopping district and come to an underpass when Arcueid suddenly stops.
見つけた。
Oh? Arcueid's voice is cold. She sounds like a completely different person. A shiver trickles down my spine. Even from behind, I can tell by her posture that she's ready to fight.
何を
Doing, but I don't say it. I know exactly what she's doing without having to ask. A pure, unbridled hostility flows from her, freezing the air.
おい、何考えてるんだ、お前。
Arcueid doesn't answer. Her gaze is fixed on a perfectly looking man in a suit. Perfectly normal, rather. it's just a perfect suit.
式、メガネを外してあの人間を見てみなさい。
あの人間って、前にいるあの男。
早く。私が何をしているか知りたいのなら質問は後よ。
はあ、あんまり街中で見たくはないんだけど。
Yeah, it's just a dude. I remove my glasses. My temples throb. In exchange for the pain, the lines running across the ground and walls come dimly into view.
確認しておくけど、あなたの線は生物の方がはっきり見える？
ああ、その方がより確かに見える。
でしょうね。あなたは生物だから鉱物の死を理解できない。
Well, I don't know. The walls and floor are pretty clear right now.
形の上の摩耗というカテゴリーの結果は見えても、鉱物たちにとっての終わりは見えない。そのためには彼らと同じ視点、同じ価値観を得なくてはいけない。
I guess I understand the values of the floor and wall, huh?
死を見るためには命を理解しないといけないから。それじゃあついでに聞くけど、今の式から見てあの人間はどんな感じ？
I don't see how he'd be any different. I step back by reflex. What is that? Every human being has lines on them. Most have only a few, though, which gently trace their bodies in geometric patterns. But what the frick is that? The lines are scrawled across his entire body like bulging veins and arteries. Man's covered in them. I can't even see what he looks like under them at all. I want to throw up. He's backwards. That's not a person with lines. It's as if the lines themselves have assumed a human form.
式にはどう見える？私としては式には普通の人間に見えていてほしいんだけど。
Bro looks like a stick figure. He's but like a sketchy stick figure. Like from like a high frames per second animation that's rough. I'm unable to give Arcueid an answer. It takes all my focus to not vomit.
そう。残念ね。式はあれにも死を見てしまっているなんて。
あ、なんか普通とは違うけど線は見えてる。
やっぱり死者さえ殺せるのね、あなたは。命があるなしの問題さえ無関係。動いているもの、破壊できるものなら例外なく停止させる。何よ、本当の化け物はあなたの方じゃない。
Don't say that. It's such a cliche line.
シキが見ている通り、あれはもう人間とは呼べないわ。死という負債を他人の血でごまかし続ける吸血鬼だから。
Arcueid quickens her pace. She makes a beeline for the unexceptional looking
おい
man.
アルクエイド。
シキはそこにいて。
The man disappears from sight, perhaps having become aware of Arcueid. Or to be precise, the thing that leaped away with inhuman speed. He flees deeper into the safety of the darkness beneath the tracks. Arcueid is already nowhere to be seen. She's left the refuge of the rusted lights to follow the man to the darkness. Thump. I can feel my heartbeat in my ears. It's still early in the evening. A car passes by with its headlights blazing. A train rattles along overhead. Despite all this noise, I lose the sense of anyone around me. My glasses. My glasses! I need to get my glasses back on now! If I don't, I'll see something far worse. Something so dark, so terrifying, I'll make the things I've seen pale in comparison. My body won't move. My eyes eagerly gaze into the darkness as if drawn to the patchwork world that Arcueid has entered. I blink and silence envelops me. The wind, even the smell of the earth. It's like everything has been frozen in place. Screeching. Under the ice-cold moon, an eerie noise emanates from beyond the shadows. Grinding. I shouldn't be able to see anything, or even hear. Squelching. But I did see it. My eyes catch a glimpse of the moment death meets death. My vision turns vermilion. How is it possible that these lines see death even in pitch darkness? My glasses. If I don't get them on this minute, I think I'll lose it. Fighting off the urge to vomit, I slip on my glasses with trembling hands. Light and sound return. I steel myself and scan my surroundings, but find nothing out of place under the tracks. Nobody around. A couple cars maybe, but it's still just a normal city at night. A pocket of civilization where humans can live, sheltered from danger. An oasis where no harm shall ever befall them. I have trouble breathing. Even with my glasses on, the creature's death lingers in my peripheral vision, making me sick. Oh, you look like you had trouble with that. Out of the darkness emerges Arcueid, her footsteps unsteady. She's breathing even harder than I am.
シキ。そっか。まだ残ってたんだ。
Arcueid averts her grimacing face and sways past me. Her steps seem weak and frail. To be honest, I still haven't gotten over my own nausea, but seeing Arcueid in such pain, that's now the least of my worries.
待てよ。一体どうしたんだお前。
Grab Arcueid's shoulder as she tries to leave. Arcueid turns slowly, her eyes flat.
大丈夫よ。少し疲れただけだから構わないで。シキには全然関係がないんだから。
バカ、疲れているなら休め。変に汗かいてるし、どう見ても重症だぞ。
I take hold of her arm as I try to control my own breathing.
何よ。そういうシキだって今にも倒れそうな顔してる。
俺のはただの貧血。いつものことだ。
That is your go-to excuse, buddy.
人を気にしてる余裕があるなら、自分の体も気遣えよ。
いいのよ。どうせ気遣っても無駄なんだから。
Arcueid's breathing is so weak it pains me to hear.
まさか、お前、あの時の傷。
I can't finish the question. She got that wound protecting me. Arcueid casts her eyes downward, refusing to answer. That must be a yes.
もう何度言わせるんだこのバカ。そんな体でおとなしくできないのか。
おとなしくしてるつもりなんだけどな。
全然してない。人間離れしてるからって治りきってないのに出歩くやつがいるか。
This is making me realize just how angry I am. I can't let her do this. Can't abandon her no matter how much trouble she
お前
is.
本当に何してんだよ。こら黙ってないで答えろ。話してくれるまでお前から離れないからな。
I grab her by the shoulders. Her eyes remain downcast, but she manages a slight nod.
もう割としつこいのね、あなたって。いいわ。それじゃあ場所を変えましょう。どのみちさっきのも外れだったみたいだし。
We've kind of gone all over. Where are we going now? Arcueid brushes away my hands and spins on her heel. We're not headed for the shopping district, it seems. Instead, she guides me towards the park. Oh, back to the park. It's our go-to place. It's our little hangout. When in doubt, head to the park. We arrive soon enough. Did her injuries heal on the way here? She appears to be back to her usual self.
あっさり元に戻ってるし。もしかしてさっきは油断して傷を負ったとかいうオチじゃないだろうな。
え？違うよ。傷が治りかけなのは本当だってば。
治りかけなのは本当だ。本当じゃないことも言ったってことだよな。
何その言い方、すっごくいやらしいんですけど。
お前の言動が怪しすぎるんだよ。文句があるならさっき何をしてたのか話してみろ。大方予想はついてるけど何をあんな痛がってたんだ。
さて、それじゃあ式のお望み通り、私が何をしていたかを話してあげましょう。
Okay, well, yeah, you changed your personality. She's clearly doing this to change the topic. Then again, this is what I wanted to know. How she's feeling can wait for the time being.
じゃあ確認からさせてくれ。さっきのやつは吸血鬼の手足になってる死者だな。あれの大元がお前の本当の敵。
なんと今度は話が早いのね、式。
そいつはどうも。俺だって少しは頭は回るからね。さっきの話で大体の事情は飲み込めている。
うん、良きかな良きかな。式の可愛い勘違いはブローブのことだけってことね。
可愛いって言うな。仕方ないだろ。あの時は自分のことだけで手一杯だったんだから。
I feel like she could also use some better language descriptors with what she was talking about.
自分のことだけで手一杯。ま、そういうことにしておいてあげましょう。
Arcueid twirls around like something's fun about all this and peers into my face. What's with her?
いいから話。さっきの男はもうとっくに死んでいたんだな。
そうよ。あれはあいつのしもべだから始末しただけ。下級の使者だったけど、それでも放っておくと人間を殺して力を蓄えられてしまうから。シキ、ホテルで話した吸血鬼の話、覚えてる？
Yep. Of course I nod. The ecology of vampires with your board that you spawned out of nowhere. Castellans and the hierarchy of their subjects. Sires hunt and kill humans to turn them into their minions. They then hide away while those minions gather blood for them. Arcueid also spoke about the differences between Castellans and the older type of vampires. Immortal, weak to the sun, the stereotypical vampire.
それはもう教えてもらった。じゃあお前の追っている敵とやらが殺人事件の吸血鬼で間違いないんだな。
ええ、間違いないわ。たとえあいつが手を下したのは最初の一人だけだとしても、そこから発生した死者たちの殺人は全部あいつの成果になる。だから
さっきみたいに街を歩き回って吸血鬼のしもべを探していた。そうすれば親の居場所がわかるのか？
強く親に結びついたしもべならね。けど今のところ外ればっかり。棺、敵の潜伏場所が見つからないのはそれだけ多くの死者を使っているからよ。あいつが自分の手を汚すのは数回だけ。あとは死者にした人間を操って自分は眠っているだけで領地を広げていく。この町の犠牲者
Are
が
we
100
really
人を
not
超
gonna
えて
say who it is for a long time?
あなたたちが騒いでいる犠牲者なんて人知れずいなくなった人間の一部分に過ぎないわ。
Hearing it all again makes my blood run cold. 2 days ago, I had thought Vlav was the cause of all this, and being able to channel all those emotions into killing him is what kept me sane. This time is different. The murders continue. More than 100 victims attacked, drained of blood, and killed by former humans. But then they're robbed of their rest. They become walking corpses like that clump of limes, and are able to prowl the town for more victims. It was just 3 days ago. I recall the people annihilated at the hotel. Though I was there too, I wasn't able to witness their final moments. That's why I can only imagine the butchery that took place that night. It's no different now. It's hard to fully accept the notion that there's a vampire out there thirsting for human blood, all for the sake of stretching the boundaries of its domain. But it does beg the question, how would I feel if, without the slightest warning, one of my loved ones was killed in such a horrific way? It's a morbid thing to consider, that's to be sure, but I ponder it for a second. I picture Akiha having her blood drained and being tossed away like garbage. Breath hisses between my teeth as I try to rid myself of the vertigo gnawing at my brain. The very thought of that should enrage me, yet I feel strangely cold. Now's the time to think, not to let my emotions run rampant, I tell myself. The fact is, there's a very real possibility that this could come to pass as soon as tomorrow. It's pitiful that I never realized just how much danger we were in, but I can chastise myself for that later.
やっぱり怒ったわね、シキ。私があなたに話したくなかったのは、これは捕食される側、人間にとってどしがたいものだからよ。シキにしてみれば、吸血鬼の行為は認められないものでしょうから。
She's right. Morality and correctness have nothing to do with this. I just can't accept what they do. Even if the victims were complete strangers to me, each one of them had a past and a future to call their own, all of which were dashed in an instant. I may not know what those lives were like, but that doesn't make them cheap commodities to be used and discarded. I wouldn't want to die like that, at the whim of some creature. It's just too cruel. Cruel and wrong. It's all so meaningless.
でも安心していいよ、シキ。吸血鬼たちの天敵はこの国にはいないみたいだけど、今は私がちゃんといるんだから。
Are you talking about the church? Or do you mean like garlic?
言ったでしょ。私の目的は町を犯している吸血鬼を退治することだって。
Arcueid brightens in a flash, a far cry from her attitude a moment ago. Honestly, her words make me feel a lot better. I know just how incredible she is and how far she'll go to protect humans. She shielded us from Vlov's ice without a thought for herself. But that also gives me pause. An obvious question I've had since even before the fight with Vlov.
それがわからない。アルクエイドだって吸血鬼なんだろ。どうしてそんな人間の味方みたいなことをするんだよ。
私、別に人間の味方をしているわけじゃないよ。それ以外にやることがないからやってるだけだもの。
She just has nothing better to do?
ま、そんなことをやっているから狙われるんでしょうけど、そこはそれ、必要経費みたいなものかしら。
いや、お前の言いたいことはまるでわからないけど、その例えだけは間違ってるぞ。
まあまあ、細かいことは気にしないで。そんな引く手あまたヘイトいっぱいな私だったけど、シキがブローブを倒してくれたでしょ。これで障害は何もなくなったわ。あとはこの町に潜んでいる敵を見つけてなんとか始末してみせるから。シキは今まで通り普通の生活に戻って私たちなんかに関わらなくていいんだよ。
ああ。
Apparently someone's at the door. Please,
そりゃ嬉しいけど。
please ignore the noise of the doorbell. It's so weird being back at a place where I can get a doorbell ring and I see live video of the person at the doorbell right beside me. It's a very strange experience. Is someone going to go answer that? Someone wants to go answer that. Okay. Are you really sure you'll be okay on your own? The words form in the back of my mind, but I shake my head to send them away. Something must be wrong with me. Why should I care if she winds up getting herself into danger?
シキ？何よ、また難しい顔しちゃって。
Oh, frowny.
シキの聞きたい話ってこれで終わりでしょ？他には何もないと思うけど。
I mean, I have about 1,000 more questions, but right now.
そりゃ難しい顔ぐらいする。
だから気にしなくていいんだって。これからは毎日街を見て回って、もうこれ以上犠牲者は出さないようにするし。それとも、そんなに私の性能を信用できない？
I really don't want to get involved. But protecting this city should be the responsibility of someone who lives here, not Arcueid.
アルクエイド、お前の言う敵は強いのか？あのブローブよりもっと。
まさか、ブローブはああ見えてもその一人よ。この町に救った吸血鬼は、ブローブより純度は落ちるわ。
Huh. Really?
そうか。ならお前がやられることはないんだな。
That's strange. Huh.
断言はできないわね。ちょっと前までの私なら問題なかったと思うけど、今の私は病み上がりだもの。
Hold on just a second. I nodded along without really thinking about what she just said. Arcueid is on the mend?
いやいや、風邪でもひいたのかお前。というか吸血鬼って風邪ひくのか？
ええ、とんでもなく野蛮な通り魔を一つね。
That's a good expression.
塔の式っていう名前の悪質なウイルスなんだけど、ご存知かしら？
That's pretty funny.
ああ、いや、それはごめんなさい。
Pretty sure I just kicked the hornet's nest.
冗談よ。式の傷はもう治ってるわ。ただちょっと治すのに想定以上の力を使って疲れてるだけ。痛いのはブローブから受けた傷の方。こっちはまだ外を塞いでいるだけだから。
Arcueid touches her stomach lightly. I'm responsible for that wound too. She only got it because she protected me. I'm at a loss. All of Arcueid's pain has been my fault. So then why? Why doesn't she just hold even the slightest grudge? How can she smile at me so innocently?
やめろよ。せめて傷が治るまでどこかで休んでればいいじゃないか。
ダメよ。ブローブと戦ったことで敵も私が来たことに気づいているはずだもの。休んだりしたらそれこそ私が弱っていると知らせるような。
だからって今夜みたいな真似を続けていくのか？
ええ、敵の居場所がわからない以上、あいつに血を送っている死者を片っ端から潰していくしかない。そうして血の供給源を断てば本体が直に血を吸いに現れる。
それがもし明日だったらどうするんだ？弱っているのを隠したところでそんな体じゃ逆に殺されるようなものなんだろう。
I stopped short of telling her to not push herself and stare at my feet. Arcueid's right. If she shows even a hint of weakness, the vampire will come to kill her regardless. These last 2 days have taught me something. When it comes to fighting, Arcueid can be brutal to the core. Rather than avoiding personal injury, her strategy is all about finding a surefire way to take down her enemy. She prioritizes her objective above all else. She doesn't force herself into believing anything but the truth. Arcueid isn't going to stop. I won't get another chance to talk with her like this if I let her go. She's not scared of death. So why'd she have to smile like that? If I could just have not seen that smile. She just acted more like a vampire. I wouldn't feel like this.
どうしたのシキ？体震わせちゃって、もしかしてトイレ？
Nigo potty? Gagopissis? Gagopissy shitties?
お前ってやつは。
She's so carefree about all this. I lift my head. Oh, I love that transition. In front of me stands the woman in white. Can't pretend like none of this happened. I don't know what this feeling is, but I know I can't forget the 2 days we've spent together. That's why, if I leave her now, only for her to wind up dead tomorrow, I could never forgive myself.
勘弁してくれ。ただでさえ両目が壊れてるのに、頭まで壊れかけてる。
I don't want to deal with vampires anymore. Fight with love flashes through my mind. Terror still lingers in my bones enough to send a chill up my spine. It's the same now. This other vampire is supposed to be strong too. There's no need for me to involve myself. Arcueid says she can handle it, so I should just leave it to her. And yet, even though I know that's the logical thing to do, can't let her do this alone.
ああ、もう、どうかしちまったのか、俺は。
I kick at the ground. More than anything, I'm pissed off at just how illogical I'm being.
何？どうしたのシキ？いきなり怒り出しちゃって。
そりゃ怒りたくもなる。なんだって俺はあんな目にあったっていうのに、こんなたわごとを口にしようとしているのかって。
The idea of what I'm about to utter makes me dizzy. If I had a mirror in front of me, I'd give my reflection a smack in the face.
落ち着いて。普通じゃないわよ、あなた。
ああ、普通じゃないさ。普通じゃなかったらこんなこと、とても口にはできないだろう。
Cursing to myself, I scratch at my head like I could drag the words out right. As much as I don't want to believe it, I've already decided. I said as much, didn't I?
もう全然わかんない。ちゃんと説明しなさい。さっきからこんなことって何がこんなことだって言うの？
だからお前の体が治りきるまで手伝ってやるって、そう言いたいんだよ、俺は。
Arcueid looks taken aback. I finally got it out, in a way. Now that I've actually said the words, I start to calm down.
シキ、今の本当？
I groan. Even I still can't believe what I just said.
私、ちょっと聞き損ねちゃった。お願いだからもう一度言って。
Another groan. But it's too late to go back now. I stopped being able to lie to myself the second I said it.
早く。私、今のセリフもう一度聞きたい。
She urges me with a voice close to a whisper. Averting my gaze from her beaming face, I try my best to sound angry.
だからアルクエイドが弱ってるのは俺の責任だし、街にはびこってる化け物を放っておけないし、弱っているお前一人じゃ頼りないから、俺でよかったら手伝ってやるって言ったんだ。
She's literally sparkling. Arcueid's eyes practically sparkle. She grabs my hand happily and shakes it up and
ま
down.
あ、俺じゃ大した役には立たないだろうけど。
シキが
Aww.
手伝ってくれるなら怖いものなんて何もないんだから。
It's adorable. Arcueid continues giving my hand a vigorous shaking. Considering her ridiculous strength, I'm honestly afraid my arm will come out of its socket before long, but I can't bring myself to stop her. How do I put it? She looks so happy. Honestly, truly happy. Seeing that, it makes me feel like maybe I've made the right choice after all, despite how insane it sounds. Dang. That was really good. I think, thinking back to even the same scene in the original, I think that one's like way better done. Just better directed, you know? Now the question is, how are we going to handle going back home? You know what? I think that's actually maybe a good place to call it, I would say. Let's leave it here and we will I thought it said town of snitches. We will go back to our place next time and deal with Akiha there. So thank you all for watching, guys. We will see you next time for some more Let's Play Tsukihime, A Piece of Blue Glass Spoon. Ciao.
Yo.